Good morning. It is a beautiful morning in nice Austin, Texas. I'm on my balcony, just enjoying the air. And I want to talk about something today. I just got back from the gym. Last night on my Instagram story, I put a poll up and I said, do you like your coffee in the morning extremely hot, iced, or neutral, room temperature? And there were some psychopaths that said room temperature. So let me just make that clear. If you're one of those, I'm sorry, this video is also just not for you. And the reason that I asked this question on my stories is because this is also a concept that I teach the students inside of my mastermind when it comes to creating a life that they love. And if you look at the things that we enjoy, coffee, for example, most people only enjoy a coffee if it's at one of the two extremes, either extremely hot or we'll call iced extremely cold. And so when we start to, so if I order my coffee and it's extremely hot, I also have a time constraint. There's a time duration in which I can finish the whole thing so that I enjoy the entire thing. If I drink it too slow, if I try to capitalize on it while it's at the extreme too slow, eventually it cools off into neutral and I will waste the rest of it. I'll be disinterested. And I had this revelation, English. I had this revelation when I was in Oregon. My girlfriend and I at the time were going on a hike, and it was about 2 hours away, and we both ordered coffee. She orders hers iced, I ordered mine hot. And what I noticed is as we slowly drank these coffees over the drive, about 30 minutes in, we stopped touching them. Mine was about halfway full, hers was about halfway full. The ice had melted a good amount, it wasn't really cold anymore, it was kind of watered down. Mine was no longer hot and no longer had that sensation that I enjoyed, and so I became disinterested. And we both left our coffees there for the rest of the day. And we always do this in our business, we always do this in our lives, is when our back's against the wall, when things become extremely cold and extremely fearful and we get in scarcity and we're gonna lose the house and we can't pay rent, we immediately take charge and we act and we go forward and we just absolutely prove to ourselves that we can get ourselves out of a hole every single time. And then once everything starts getting really, really good, we'll call it extremely hot. When life starts getting extremely hot, we don't think we can sustain it, so we back off. And then it slowly cools down. We stop seeking the extremes. And then we get in the danger zone, which is the neutral zone when it comes to business and life. And the second that we go from hot and we let ourselves cool off into neutral, it's just a matter of time before we get to the negative extreme of cold again, where scarcity comes into play. So what we need to do is we need to figure out how to constantly keep our life or ourselves in some form of extreme. Whether that be waking up earlier to go to the gym, whether that be doing a freaking ice bath, because everybody loves ice baths all of a sudden. A cold plunge, so I don't want to offend anybody. Regardless, I respect those people because they're doing something that constantly forces them into an extreme. Sometimes people have to go to extreme the negative way. Sometimes people self-sabotage to get themselves back to an extreme of bad because they don't know how to increase the extremes of good. It's average to be neutral. Most people live their whole lives in neutral, and that's why they become dissatisfied and disinterested with life, and they never produce anything and they just settle. Operating out of an extreme, good or bad, is a choice every single time. So my question to you on this fine Monday morning is, what can you do today to get yourself back into an extreme? What can you do to get the car out of neutral, put it back in drive, and actually move forward? I don't know if you've ever tried to drive a car while it's in neutral. It's not really effective. You'll burn gas, you'll burn fuel, you'll tire yourself out, but you won't actually go anywhere until you put that car in drive or reverse. So what can you do today? How can you get yourself back to an extreme? And when you're in that extreme, how can you capitalize on that extreme as much as possible during the intensity of the extreme? Strike where the iron's hot, right? That's the phrase, quote. I don't know. I haven't had my extremely hot coffee yet, and I'm about to go get it right there. It's where my coffee shop's right there. It's great. It's great. It's right across the street. So what can you do today to get yourself back to an extreme?